Gridiron fans from West Virginia, welcome to the postseason. Gridiron fans from Ohio, welcome back for round 2. Tonight we have highlights of 4 games from both sides of the border, including a colossal rematch. All that, plus a look at the Player of the Year race, next on Gridiron Glory. Break the huddle, football fans, because it's time for another Friday night of Gridiron Glory. I'm Nathan Takitch. Tonight kicked off the Sweet 16 round of the playoffs in both Ohio and West Virginia, so the stakes were pretty high at this point. Winning means a trip to the state quarterfinals, while losing means a trip home for the winner. Avoiding that fate was an uphill climb for Parkersburg South. Tonight, history was just as much of an opponent for the Patriots as the top-seeded Capital Cougars. Since the playoff field expanded to 16 teams in 1991, one seeds are 65-4. Now, Kelsey Hoke, she's one of our top-seeded reporters. Kelsey, after a 2-game skid to end the season and some bad luck, the Patriots really had an uphill climb. It's finally time for some Buckeye football. The first week of August means the first week of Ohio State practice, officially kicking off the 2014 season. It also means the return of the quarterback, Braxton Miller, on the field for the first time since the Orange Bowl. He missed all of spring practice with a shoulder injury. He's a 2-time Offensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten and a Heisman hopeful. But Braxton still needs one more accomplishment to leave a legacy as one of the best ever at Ohio State.
The one thing he's missing is a championship. You know, he went 12-0, but he needs a championship. And I think every great player is measured by championships, whether it be NFL, NBA, college football.
Of course, more practices means more injuries as well. Running back Warren Ball went down today with an apparent foot injury. We should know more on his status later this week. Out of all the Ohio State shrines in Columbus, the one nestled in a little deli on Lane Avenue might be the most unique. You can check out the mini museum, grab a bite to eat, and talk to a former Buckeye great, all at Vladi's place. If you call yourself an Ohio State football fan, you'll get a kick out of Vladi Yanikievsky's collection.
This is from the 2002 championship. It's from the field, goalpost.
He's got art, pieces of history, and lots of signatures lining the walls of his deli.
I have from Jack Tatum to Keith Byers. Everybody that is a former football player, they've signed this.
Actually, Vladi is a former Buckeye himself. After moving to Columbus from Macedonia, he walked on to the OSU soccer team before he tried out to be a place kicker for the football team. It went well. Vladi earned all Big Ten honors in the late 70s.
It was the greatest opportunity for me was, coming to the United States. I learned English. Another opportunity came up with, coming to Ohio State, playing soccer and football.
Now the current football players come to Vladi's Easy Living Deli to grab a bite to eat and to add their signature to his collection.
Ex-player, when they come back, first place will be here. They'll stop in.
Vladi opened Easy Living Deli in 1987, and since then he's built one of the largest collections of Ohio State memorabilia you'll ever find. And that's because to Vladi, Ohio State is more than just a school. It's a huge part of who he is.
It's been fun. I enjoy, it's like I've never left the university because I see everybody come in.
And they all come in for this unique man's unique product, a field goal of flavor served with an extra point of Buckeye pride.
May I help us next?
The Indians and Reds have a lot in common right now. Both teams were 56-55 coming into tonight and fighting to get in the playoff race, setting the stage for Cleveland versus Cincinnati, the battle for Ohio, with more than just bragging rights on the line. Game 1 of the 4-game series, and Lonnie Chisenhall gets things started off right for the Tribe. A 3-run jack off of Alfredo Simon. Indians would lead 4-0 at this point, and that was all the support Corey Kluber needed. He tossed 7 scoreless and cruised to the win, 7-1, Tribe take it. Which play is more exciting, a run through just about everybody on the field or a running back touchdown pass? Time to find out. Here are the best of the best, the top 10 plays of 2014. We're going to start things off, of course, with number 10, and with one of our new teams, River Valley. Sam Payne takes the handoff, breaking tackles and bringing the pain. He breaks 5 tackles on this play for 17 yards. River Valley would win 34-14. Our number 9 play, Parkersburg and Woodrow Wilson across the border. Brent Osborne going way downfield. Mistake. He is picked by Eddie Wilson. Full extension, 24-0. Parkersburg gets the win. Staying in West Virginia, Point Pleasant and Ravenswood at number 8. Ravenswood had just scored a touchdown in this huge game. John Peterson says, I'm going to get this touchdown right back. Momentum change and a score for Point Pleasant. They win 37-20. Number 7 back in Ohio now, Belpre and Waterford. There's a nice lame duck pass, but Dejon Bedgood flies in like an eagle for the INT. 28-8 Belpre, the Golden Eagles with the win. Number 6 in the MVL, West Muskingum and Morgan on the kickoff. Jaden Gianatino, I messed up your name last time. I got it right this time. Big touchdown return and big time for the Tornadoes to get their first win since 2011, 21-7. Now we're going to move into the top half of the highlights, and a lot of these are from Trimble. Trimble and Alexander here at number 5. Brody McGrath scrambles around out of the pocket. He's going to throw a fadeaway pass into the end zone. That ball is punch-sized by Austin Downs, picked by Cody Jones. An athletic effort there. Trimble wins 37-7. So there's athleticism. Here's plain old effort. Point Pleasant and Logan, and out of West Virginia, Ryan Miller to Brenton Vance. Jason Wamsley's like, okay, I have plenty of time. I'm going to track you down. He chases him, and he gets him. Shoelace tackle. Point Pleasant gets a pick on the next play and wins the game 63-8. Number 3, bronze medal goes to Trimble. For this play, Andrew Losey goes to Austin Downs against Waterford. Waterford misses a tackle, and he's like, okay, thanks, see you tomorrow. Jukes to the middle, then around to the left, makes another guy miss. Here comes a stiff arm to the face. He gets into the end zone, 29-yard touchdown. Looked like a lot more, 62-0 Trimble with the win. Number 2, sticking with Trimble, Losey. The pitch to Justice Jenkins, the running back, throws some cheddar into the end zone. Austin Downs for the touchdown, 42-0. Trimble takes the win. But our top play of the night, one of our best athletes, Trey Williams, shows his full arsenal of range and skill. Gets outside, a cluster in the middle of the field, breaks a tackle, turns on the Jets, and Sloya, he's gone to the end zone. 66-28, Athens goes on to win, gets a 10-0 season, and gets into the Final Four. It's the biggest non-story to ever play out on sports talk radio in the Twitterverse. The LeBron James sweepstakes, they may soon come to a close, but we're rather still clueless to what James will actually do. James reportedly met with his own team of managers today, and he'll meet with the Miami reps tomorrow in Las Vegas. That's where James is appearing at a Nike-sponsored basketball camp. Players cannot officially sign with the team until Thursday, but they can come to a verbal agreement at any time. So, again, we wait. It's watch list week in college football, and Buckeye tight end Jeff Hireman named to the John Mackey Award watch list, given to the nation's best tight end. 40 players made the list, so not an extremely selective group, but Hireman has to be one of the favorites. He got 26 passes, including 4 touchdowns this past season, and he has the potential to do even more damage this fall as a senior. Several reports today say Browns receiver Josh Gordon will appeal a proposed 1-year suspension by the NFL for a violation of the league's drug policy. The hearing is set for Friday in New York, and according to ProFootballTalk.com, Gordon may have a decent chance because of a discrepancy between 2 urine samples Gordon submitted in his failed test. The Blue Jackets were the youngest team in the NHL this past season, and they could get even younger this season. But that's up to the kids in development camp at Nationwide this week. You'll recall the Jackets made 3 first-round draft picks last year, and at least 2 of them stand a tremendous chance to make the big league team this season. Among those is Kirby Reichel. The 16th overall pick enjoyed a monster season in the Ontario Hockey League this past year. He could fit in as a talented winger on one of the last 2 lines, and he's only 19.
You know, obviously I have big goals for next season, but you know, I'm not really going to put on a place where I want to be. Obviously I want to be in the NHL, but you know, it's definitely a huge step from junior to NHL. If I have to go to the American League for a bit, that's fine, but at the end of the day, I'm going to work as hard as I can this summer to be the best player I can be in September.
Bad Reds news. Joey Votto goes back on the disabled list as he continues to nurse an injured quadriceps muscle. Good Reds news, already 1 game in the win column today, with a chance for a doubleheader sweep against the Cubs tonight. Redlegs take game 1, 4-2. And in the World Cup semifinal, a highly anticipated game today between Brazil and Germany. It turns into a laugher, given Brazil was shorthanded without Neymar and Thiago Silva. But there was no way that anyone thought the hosts would be so outmatched. Germany humiliates Brazil 7-1. Yes, 7-1. The Germans will play in the final against either Argentina or the Netherlands on Sunday. I loved every second of being your host, but there's no question my favorite part of the job was traveling to pick a fan of the week, from cowboy hats to pumpkin helmets and everything in between. It's time to relive the best of Fan of the Week. Fans, we know it's rainy this week, but that didn't stop us from getting out to Nelsonville, York for a Fan of the Week. I'm here with Braden and Joel, 2 of the biggest fans in the student section, and we're here celebrating one thing. What's that?
#Buckeye Family.
Woo! We're doing our first ever cheer off here on Gridiron Glory. I want to see you guys, who's the biggest cheer?
Sixton, number 68, Jonathan Roback, number 70, Brandon Grammer.
Tonight I met Grace Hunsberger. She might be familiar to our show, and she looked like it because she took over for me as the fan of the week. Coach did a pretty good job. That's why she herself is our fan of the week. The madness continues. Action in the Sweet 16 round of the NCAA basketball tournament tipped off last night, and the excitement picked up right where it left off last week. Tournament darling Dayton is moving on to the Elite Eight. Last night, the 11-seeded Flyers used a 42-point first half to put 10-seed Stanford on the ropes, and Dayton never looked back. The red and blue matched Stanford's comeback efforts blow for blow and rolled to a 10-point win. Dayton will represent the Buckeye State in the Elite Eight for the first time in 30 years. Now the Flyers, they'll be massive underdogs because they'll have to take on the top-seeded Florida Gators. The SEC champs knocked off 4-seed UCLA, winning by 11 points. The till was close for a while, but that was until SEC Player of the Year Scotty Wilbekin found his scoring touch and willed the Gators to their 29th straight win, sealing Florida's third straight trip to the Elite Eight. The action wasn't too bad out west either. 1-seed Arizona was clutch from the free throw stripe late in the game to dispatch San Diego State. The Wildcats move on to face 2-seed Wisconsin. The Badgers worked Baylor last night, winning by 17. And the sweetness continues tonight in the East region. Virginia and Michigan State will face off in a huge match between title caliber teams. Also, Iowa State faces UConn. And in the Midwest, Louisville faces Kentucky in the battle for the Bluegrass State. And Michigan will do battle against Tennessee. This weekend's excitement doesn't end with March Madness, though. Ohio softball has a huge weekend ahead. The Bobcats will play 4 conference games in 3 days and look to right the ship. Before today started, Ohio had lost 12 of their last 15 after beginning the year with a record-setting 12-1 mark. But the green and white are off to a good start. And Game 1 of today's doubleheader against Eastern Michigan is already in the books. The Bobcats rolled to a 14-4 win. Game 2 is underway right now, and Ohio is up big. They're going to take on Central Michigan on Saturday and Sunday. On another diamond, the baseball Bobcats are heading into the weekend looking to end their losing streak. Ohio has dropped 9 straight games since beating the Longwood Lancers almost 3 weeks ago. The Cats will look to snap the streak by winning in their 3-game set against the Western Michigan Broncos. Jake Rowan will toe the rubber for the series opener tonight. The righty has been the workhorse for the pitching staff, working more innings than any other Bobcat. Outfielder Mitch Longo will look to improve on his sizzling .429 batting average this weekend. Let's stay in the SEOAL to award our first honor of the night. After 2 straight non-playoff seasons, Jackson looked to have the pieces to make a run in 2014. The Ironmen rose to the occasion, going 10-0 in the regular season and to the regional semis under our Coach of the Year, Andy Hall. I'm now, in fact, joined by Jackson's head man, Mr. Andy Hall. Congratulations, first of all. Actually, we have a nice little plaque here, Gridiron Glory Coach of the Year plaque to commemorate the season. So I'll let you have that. Congratulations. What was your message to this team before the year started? In a stadium full of unique fans, he's as unique as they come. Taking in soccer, a game he's loved his whole life, and he's always there to support his grandson.
But I call him Papu just because that's Greek for grandfather. If it's not pouring down rain or anything like that, he's there.
Not bad for a 94-year-old, but Demetrius Michaelidis once did more than sit back and watch.
This thing on my tongue.
He played in his native Greece until he moved to Columbus to get married in 1950. He found the person he loved, but lost the game that he loved. There was no soccer until he decided to start his own multicultural league in the city to keep playing.
So proud to be what happened here in America.
Other cities caught on, and pretty soon soccer was gaining popularity in the U.S. Now Michaelidis gets to see the fruits of his labor at Crew Stadium.
When I see the crowd, how it started and how it is now, well, tears coming.
And not just for the game he helped build in Columbus, the tears come when he sees his talented grandson on the pitch.
After warm-ups every game, I run over and give him a hug and give him a kiss on the cheek.
From the family game comes a family moment loaded with emotion.
My eyes. I was good, very good, but not that good.
Maybe not quite as talented, but Papu is just as passionate about the game he and his grandson love so much. Jackson and Logan have completely clashing styles. The Ironmen's Iron Curtain D is tops in the SEOAL, while the Chieftains sport the best offense. An unstoppable force meets an immovable object in our game of the week. Time for some math. Parkersburg has won an average of just over 7 games per season for 113 years. It all adds up to 799 wins in program history, a measly 1 shy of the 800 mark. 2013's Player of the Year, Kane Roush, was the first ever selected from West Virginia. Point Pleasant's Aiden Yates and Cody Mitchell might be looking for a Mountain State repeat in 2014, but for now, it's all about winning games. If we've said it once, we've said it 1,000 times. Tri-Valley wins. It's redundant, but true. This week's home game against New Lex looked on paper like a tune-up for a team with high aspirations. Gallia Academy opened their season last week with a big loss to Athens, but in their home opener, the Blue Devils had a chance to rebound against a totally different kind of offense. Last week, while Athens was putting up 52 points, Chesapeake was putting up 39 total yards. At Parkersburg, it's all about history. The Big Reds are one of just 8 schools ever with 800 wins, and they play in the Civil War against Peace South. Tonight, the Berg battled a school named for our 28th president, Woodrow Wilson. Ironmen and Ironton, 2 opponents with much more in common than their names. Before kickoff tonight, Jackson and the Fighting Tigers were each riding long win streaks and in control of their playoff destinies behind Iron Curtain defenses. How can Trimble win without Stanley and Coons, said everybody 3 months ago. We got our answer quickly with Jenkins, Downs, and Losey, said 2014's Tomcats, who began today just 1 win away from a second straight 10-win season. You gotta love the whiteout in the G-Force. Jackson was hoping to earn some white with a win tonight. Whenever the Ironmen go 10-0 in a season, players replace their normal red Letterman jackets with white ones, a shining symbol of a legacy that was on the line in our game of the week. From the future to the present, snap back to reality. Time to get back to the highlights from tonight's playoff action, where the TVC Ohio was well represented. In the movies, it's hard for a sequel to live up to the original, but if 2013's edition of Athens versus Tri-Valley was the original, anything remotely close to that game this year would make for an unforgettable sequel. Winning goes a long way toward boosting your fan club. Hideki Matsuyama learned that after winning his first PGA Tour event at Muirfield Village Sunday, and one of his new fans knows more about golf than your average bear.
I just think you've just seen the start of what's going to be truly one of your world's great players over the next 10 to 15 years.
Hard-earned praise because winning this year's Memorial required world-class resolve. Matsuyama started his day watching Kevin Na storm up the leaderboard from 7 strokes down to put pressure on the lead groups. And the leaders around Matsuyama crumbled under the pressure. Veterans like world #1 Adam Scott and Masters champ Bubba Watson faded Sunday. Matsuyama even cast some doubt on himself as he stumbled late.
To hit it in the water at 16 and then turn around and make up another bogey there at 17, I wasn't sure.
But Matsuyama reassured himself by birdieing 18 for the 4th straight day to force a playoff with Na.
And to be able to birdie 18, it turned the day all completely around.
Just in time for the playoff hole. Even without the driver he accidentally snapped on 18, Matsuyama rode the momentum to a win, earning the coveted handshake and respect of Jack Nicklaus.
This young man's going to win a lot of golf tournaments. His first one in the United States. You got to start somewhere, and he started here.
But to win it here on Mr. Nicklaus's course is the best ever.
A historic day on Sunday at the Memorial Tournament. The champion decided in playoffs for the first time in 22 years. That champion, 22-year-old Hideki Matsuyama, who becomes the youngest player ever to win Jack's tournament. Fans, if your team is fighting for a league title or a perfect season, I wish you good luck getting enough sleep. While you're up, get on social media and use that hashtag GridGlory to cast your vote for next Friday's Game of the Week. My next stop for Fan of the Week is at Gallia Academy. I'm excited. Week 10 is going to be a lot of fun. But until then, I'm Nathan Takitch reminding you there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.